RPGs, a genre of game that is looked upon for many hours of awake time, and possibly even some death. Everyone knows the bigger ones, like Final Fantasy, and maybe EverQuest, and some that we don't talk about. However, one character in none of those franchises also has his own RPGs, and that is Mario. While yes, you have Super Mario RPG and the Mario and Luigi DS games, today I'm looking more specifically at Paper Mario. And while it isn't much of an RPG series as of today with the Origami King, a game that even now is still it's pretty hard to get when it comes to physical copies, especially with the original Paper Mario. Since for one, they're just generally kind of expensive, and they're also pretty rare. But with the game now being on Nintendo Switch Online through an expansion pack, it would only make sense to not spend the extra $50 and just emulate the game instead. So today, let's give Paper Mario a shot, and see if I can withstand large amounts of dialogue and RPG elements. We begin with a brief introduction of the story, which gives me the perfect segue to the lore segment of this video. Yeah, so apparently there's this place called Starhaven, and Bowser just kind of showed up and decided to put all 7 of these star dudes in some cards for whatever reason, and decided to take this rod that definitely is not going to go up his bum in about 3 seconds, and he's going to cause some chaos. Okay, hopefully you got all that. Then we get to name our save file, and I didn't want to go with anus like I did back in Wind Waker, so instead, let's go with something a bit simple. Ah yes, I am now a baka. Let's begin at Mario's house, with Luigi coming directly off from Luigi's mansion and getting the mail. He returns to Mario and to read said mail, being informed that Princess Peach wants the pretty boys of the Mushroom Kingdom to attend her party. Because 16-year-old princesses has gotta have the boys at the party. We make the trip to Peach's castle and finally get to some gameplay. Check it out, boys, I can slide! Let's talk to some people to see if they have some interesting dialogue. Yes, I want to hear stories of places I've never visited, like, for example, Florida, Russia, the Chinese missile launch base. This guy doesn't look fat, but he probably is, since for whatever reason he can't stop eating. And that sounds pretty relatable to about half of the entirety of the human race. I can't enter this door, because the game clearly does not want me to have freedom, even though this is an RPG. Tace out here says he ran out of ingredients to make food for the party, even though there is clearly ingredients in jars and bowls directly behind him. Clearly, he is blind. Here, let me really quick just call the fat toad in here so you can make this legit. This toad tells me that I should try cooking, but you know, I don't want to be like Link when he makes dubious food, so I'll pass. This little guy wants to stay at the castle forever, yet I question how he would pass a guard inspection anyway, since he doesn't even look like he's from the Mushroom Kingdom. Ah yes, the sweet life of the castle. Sitting and doing absolutely nothing. We then go and talk to Peach alone, hoping to maybe score first base since it's clearly been 35 years, come on Mario, Jesus Christ. Suddenly, Bowser does his plan and launches the castle into the sky. I have absolutely no idea how he managed to make this plan and make it work, but clearly, the Mushroom Kingdom security must suck complete AIDS if he can get away with this. He then busts through the window like it's a scene from Fast and Furious, and we enter a battle, in which I'm guaranteed to lose, since he decided to use his Pegasus powers from a magic wand to give himself invincibility. You know, you could have just done that 35 years ago, you know. We then get pitched off the side of the castle and land in a forest. Then these star dudes come and literally throw some dust at Mario's back, and then they'll say that that'll definitely wake him up. Yeah, I mean, I definitely did that in Luigi's Mansion. I threw some dust at Luigi's back, and it didn't wake him up, so I don't know what... We then get taken back to Goomba Village, and meet some Goombas that I definitely won't be murdering. Then Kamek shows up and drops a block, conveniently breaking this fence that this Goomba worked very hard to fix. So now, he's pissed. Good job, Bowser, now you're gonna lose to a Goomba. Not Mario, no, a Goomba. I then decide to go and find Gramps, and for whatever reason, I fall to my death. I then find Gramps, only for him to tell me that I gotta find his hammer. so that I can hammer him in and not have to worry about his pitiful existence whatsoever. Dang it, I can't kill Gramps. Why, Nintendo? Why? After attempting to leave, this guy in an egg shows up after giving Gramps a beating and decides to battle us. We beat him to death, and he runs away. I can't break the crap that Gramps was working on. Nintendo, don't you want me having fun? Come on. I then find a fire flower, which is probably going to be useless for the time being. And after a lot of battles, we return to the village and give this Goomba a doll that looks suspiciously like Peach. Does this girl got some strange addictions? What? We then get this badge, and this blue hat Goomba guy named Goombario joins our party. Perfect. Now I can have more people to kill on my journey. We then go through several battles and find these two colored Goombas. We hurt them pretty good, not before they go to their dad, and then we now gotta fight those two and their senpai. Long story short, we lost. To conclude, Paper Mario is pretty dope. It's got the RPG elements that you would expect, with a simple, straightforward story, and the game in general is straight to the point. Its combat system is a highlight to many, with the way it uses badges as well as other items to your disposal, and the music and characters have great emotion and attitude. But more importantly, it also forces you to make choices on when you want to use your items, how and when you're going to use your items, and routes that you're willing to take based on your items and your characters. It's a game that, if you're willing to play it, I would go for it, because I'm sure that you'll like it, especially since it's a Mario title, it's an RPG, and it all works. And so with that, now that Mario is dead somewhere, I'll leave it at that. My name is PandaPowerSauce, remember to stay saucy, and I'll see you in the next one. Later!